Today, we're rediving into a classic tale that proves a little bit of wit can be more powerful than a whole lot of muscle. It's the story of the brave little tailor. Our story begins on a bright summer morning with a humble tailor sitting by his window, stitching away with a smile. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, and the smell of fresh bread filled the air. Suddenly, he heard a voice from the street. "Good jam for sale! Good jam for sale!" The tailor, feeling a bit peckish, bought a small pot of sweet, fruity jam. He spread a generous layer on a slice of bread and set it aside, planning to finish his work before enjoying his treat. But the delicious smell attracted some uninvited guests. A swarm of flies buzzed down from the ceiling and landed right on his jammy bread. "Hey! Who invited you lot?" the tailor cried, annoyed. He grabbed a piece of cloth and with one mighty swish, he swatted at the pesky insects. When he lifted the cloth, he was astonished. He counted them. 1, 2, 3, 7. 7 flies, all gone, in one blow. 7 at one blow, he exclaimed, his chest puffing out with pride. He felt like the strongest man in the world. This incredible feat, he thought, shouldn't be kept a secret. The whole world needed to know about his strength. So, he stitched a magnificent belt and embroidered it with golden letters. 7 at one blow. Feeling his small workshop was no longer big enough for his newfound greatness, he packed a piece of cheese and a bird he found trapped in a bush and set off into the world to seek his fortune. His journey led him into the mountains, where he came face to face with a real, bona fide giant. The giant looked down at the tiny tailor and scoffed. "What's a little shrimp like you doing in my mountains?" The tailor, not one bit intimidated, proudly pointed to his belt. The giant read the words, 7 at one blow, and squinted. He assumed the tailor meant 7 men, not 7 flies. Now, the giant was a bit more cautious. "All right, tough guy," the giant rumbled. "Let's see what you've got." He picked up a huge stone and squeezed it so hard that water trickled out. "Do that," he challenged. The tailor, thinking fast, reached into his pocket and pulled out his piece of cheese. He squeezed it with all his might, and a stream of whey squirted out. The giant, who wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, was amazed. Next, the giant picked up a stone and threw it so high it almost disappeared from sight. "Match that," he boomed. The tailor, again, had a clever idea. He took the little bird from his pocket. "I'll do better," he said. "I'll throw something that never comes back down." He tossed the bird into the air, and it happily chirped and flew away, disappearing into the blue sky. The giant was stunned. He was starting to believe this little tailor was someone to be feared. Completely convinced of the tailor's power, the giant invited him back to his cave. But the tailor, seeing how dangerous the giant and his friends were, knew he had to use his wits to escape. That night, he tricked the giant into thinking he had crushed him in his sleep and made a swift getaway. The tailor's adventures eventually led him to a kingdom plagued by 2 ferocious giants. The king, desperate, promised his daughter's hand and half his kingdom to anyone who could defeat them. Our brave tailor accepted the challenge. He found the giants sleeping under a tree and, using his cleverness, started throwing stones at them from the branches, making each giant think the other was hitting him. They woke up, argued, and fought so fiercely that they ended up defeating each other without the tailor ever having to lift a finger. And so, the little tailor, through sheer cleverness and a bit of luck, was hailed as a hero. He married the princess and became a king, proving that you don't need to be big and strong to achieve great things. Sometimes, a quick mind is the most powerful weapon of all. What a fantastic story, right? It just goes to show that how you present yourself and how you think on your feet can change your entire life. Thanks so much for hanging out and listening to this tale with me. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video. Bye!